great quarterback, and of course, and also talk about other players that are going to be playing in the Senior Bowl. Um, Austin Golson of Auburn is another young man hoping to improve his draft status to playing in the Senior Bowl, and of course, he was the starting right guard for Auburn for the last 3 years, and considered one of the top linemen in the country. Wesley Person, inches ever closer to the Troy scoring crown. Wesley Person, I saw him last night at a Charles Simpson football game. Charles Simpson basketball game, uh, where Charles Henderson defeated Brubaker Tech out of Montgomery in a very good basketball game. And congratulations to Charles Henderson's boys team. Of course, the girls team walloped Brubeck. I don't even know why they played. The Charles Henderson girls won 69-10 in high school basketball last night. Of course, Charles Henderson has um, one of the top high school basketball teams, or girls basketball teams in the state. Also going on, Mississippi beat Alabama in basketball last night in an All-Star game, 78-66. That was Tuesday night. Of course, Ole Miss got 24 points out of DeAndre Burnett, and also got 15 points out of Marco Crawford and Terrence Davis, beating Alabama at home. So Alabama now is moving right along. They're pretty good when they play at home, but when they hit the road, it's just like so many teams. They run into a buzzsaw. Alabama now 13-7 and 5-3 in the SEC, which is not bad. Ole Miss is 11-9 and 4-4 in the SEC. I want to mention, of course, the Super Bowl is right around the corner, and a lot of folks will be getting ready to celebrate the closing of football season for another year with the Super Bowl coming up in 2 weeks. So we'll be talking about that. That Super Bowl will be at 5:30 on February the 4th, and see, that's still a long ways away from playing that game. The Pro Bowl will be this weekend. Been played at Orlando, and that's a 2 o'clock kickoff on ESPN. So you've got two more football games. One, the Pro Bowl, and the other is the Super Bowl from Minneapolis. So that should be fun. I want to mention a few other things going on in college basketball. A lot of teams trying to position themselves. Of course, we got a pretty good ways left. So we still have the month of February to play, but a lot of people are starting to already look at how college basketball is going to turn out. Of course, right now, number one is Villanova. They're 19-1, and Virginia is number two. They're 19-1. It's one of the better teams Virginia's had in years. Purdue is 19-2. Duke is 17-2. And then followed by Kansas 16-4, and Michigan State 18-3. West Virginia, who took off like gangbusters, has sort of slowed down a little bit. They're down to 16-4. Xavier of Ohio 18-3. Cincinnati 17-2, and North Carolina is 16-5. Looking for some SEC teams. Tennessee's ranked 22nd in the nation. Florida is ranked 20th. Auburn's ranked 19th. And let's see here. Gosh, I was looking for Kentucky. Are they still in this thing? I don't know. the Kentucky Wildcats. Of course, once they start playing each other in conference, in which they are doing now, it makes a big difference on how well you play. The good teams will win about half the games on the road, and the average teams will lose pretty much every game on the road. Coaching legend has died. Willie Averett, a longtime coach in Alabama high schools, and died at the age of 19. Well, actually, died at the age of 90. And he was a high school coach for 33 out of his 35 years at J.F. Shields High School. And boy, what a great program he had there for many years. And his funeral will be in Georgiana. And of course, a lot of people remember this guy as one of the top high school coaches of all time. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A.
Morning.
Mike Amos calling in from Birmingham. Is that right, sir?
Yeah, it's 28 degrees up here. It's cold again.
Well, I tell you, you're right. It was 34 degrees here, and then 32 out on the at the airport. So it's cold here too. I could tell last night it was getting colder.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's supposed to be like this pretty much the rest of the week, like mid 50s, lows in the high 20s and 30s. So
yeah,
still a lot of winter left.
Mike, I see that A-Rod is going to join these baseball staff, broadcast staff
At ESPN.
ESPN, yeah. But
he'd been working for Fox.
Yeah. Well, I can't understand. Did he close out on that big contract?
Yeah, he did.
Did he get paid?
He played, I think, pretty much up to the last remaining bit. There might have been 1 year left, maybe. I can't remember for sure.
And that was
crazy thing is he finished with 696 home runs. You know good and well he could have hit 700 home runs.
Oh yeah, I don't know why he didn't continue to play. And another thing about him.
Except for steroids 2 different times. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he'll make the Hall of Fame because of his steroid use, but he was a great player about steroids.
Yeah.
He played Barry Bonds.
And something else about him. Of course, steroids is sure not a good thing. But other than that, he's a pretty nice guy, wasn't he? I mean, he stayed out of trouble most of his career, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's, been really successful off the field, too. As far as, different companies, different things he does. He actually...
always had pretty girlfriends, I know that.
he actually goes on that ABC show, Shark Tank.
Oh, does he?
As one of the billionaires that buy companies. So
yeah, that's right.
Show.
Yeah, it is. Of course, one of the ringleaders of that show is the owner of the Denver Nuggets. Is that who that is?
Dallas Mavericks. Mark
Dallas Mavericks. Where did he make all his money? Of course, he's a billionaire.
He sold an internet company.
Oh, okay. That has a lot to do with it, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's how he got really big. Really bad loss last night for Alabama basketball. I mean, they've got a lot of issues with Colin Sexton being hurt. He came back and played a little bit. The kid from Luverne, Dante Hall, scored 14 points. But they go on the road to Oxford and get beat by 12 points last night. 4 in a row, and Kennedy can coach. Man, I tell you what, Vegas knows everything. Vegas had Ole Miss a 1.5 point favorite.
Yeah, on the road. We were just talking prior to you calling, Mike, about how much difference it is when you play on the road. The good teams will pretty much split it on the road, and the average teams will lose most every game on the road. Isn't that about right?
Well, now they got the best team and one of the best teams in the country come to Tuscaloosa in Oklahoma with the best player in the country, and they're looking at 2 losses this week, staring at them right.
When do they play Oklahoma, Mike?
What now?
When do they play Oklahoma?
Saturday.
In Tuscaloosa.
In Tuscaloosa, yeah.
Well, that could be a fun game to go watch.
That'll be an extremely tough ticket right there.
Well, you think they'll sell it out?
Oh yeah, well, Alabama.
Why is Alabama and over the years, and I'm not knocking you Auburn folks, but over the years Alabama has filled up their 15,000 seat arena a lot more times than Auburn has. Why is that, Mike?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think Alabama basketball historically is a lot better than Auburn. I mean, head to head, I mean, the numbers are ridiculous. But Wimp Sanderson dominated Auburn when he was there.
No, I mean, well, what you're saying is basketball seems to mean more to the folks at Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, gymnastics at Alabama sells out.
But
I mean, it's one of those things where Auburn now sells out a lot under Bruce Pearl, but they sell out because they only have a 9,000 seat arena.
And another thing, they built that brand new arena. Of course, Coleman Coliseum holds about 15,000, and like we said, they fill it up a lot of times. But Auburn's gym, when they built it, didn't hold but 9, and I reckon they felt like 9,000 was plenty.
It was a strange move considering Beard Eves held 12,000.
Yeah. All right, North Carolina State, North Carolina, and Duke. Which one holds the most people?
North Carolina by far.
Yeah.
North Carolina holds 21,000. Duke only holds 9,000.
Yeah. And Duke has stayed in that old gym, and it's an old building. You've been in that building, haven't you?
Yeah, I went up there, and I got to peek in the door a little bit before we got ran out of there. But
it's an old building, isn't it?
Yeah, real old. I mean, actually, looks like it's like something you'd see overseas in Europe.
Yeah.
That whole campus is like kind of Gothic looking.
Yeah, but something else about that gym. It's like a lot of people say they make fun of it, but they allow the students to sit in the middle. Have you ever noticed that? They let them sit in the middle of the gym. And they let the students create a habit. And I tell you right now, and last night, Troy's staff, 2 or 3 of them, including Coach Cunningham, was at the Charles Henderson game, watching this player for Brew Tech, and he was a good basketball player, but Charles Henderson
was he a big guy or
yeah, about a 6'7" guy, 6'6", 6'7", maybe even taller. But he was real good, but he couldn't do anything because it was, you go to Charles Henderson and it's home officials and a home crowd, and they just knocked that kid around, and that kid ended up with 3 fouls on him early, and he went ahead and fouled out with about 5 minutes left to go, and of course Charles Henderson went ahead and won the game. But you wouldn't believe the Charles Henderson crowd. Most of them the students. And the students really were in that game the whole ball game. And then they got that arm to arm, what do you call it? And move back and forth, arm to arm, and move back and forth.
Yeah, kind of like what Texas A&M does.
Yeah, and let me tell you, it was so impressive. And of course, the entire student body was doing it. It was probably 200 or 300 people doing it. And I know Coach Cunningham said, I wish they'd do that at our games, and they don't. If the fans would get into the game at Troy University like they do in the high school, they'd be a lot better off.
What about Coach Grant's son? Does he play for the varsity?
Yeah, but I think he dresses, but he doesn't play much. He's a 10th grader, and he's going to be a good one, though, I think.
Yeah.
I think they're bringing him in slow. They're not throwing him throwing him out there. It's too early, I think he plays.
I think Shelby Tuck's son plays. I think he's pretty good.
Oh yeah, and he is a good player, and he was one of the high scorers last night. They've got a kid named let's see, Campbell, Kason Campbell. That is a big, strong guy, and I'm thinking he's just a junior, and he's a real good football player, but he's also a good basketball player. And Kobe Jones is another one that played a lot last night. And of course, I got to see the girls, and hey, they won 69-13.
Wow.
And they don't have any competition. Of course, the big girl.
How many games have they lost this year so far?
I think two or three. They lost to that team from Hazel Green. They lost to them, and I think they've lost another game. They play a lot of teams from all over, even from out of state.
Play 6A and 7A.
Yeah, and of course, something I noticed about them. Of course, one of the top players is the coach's daughter, the Jones girl. They don't miss free throws. Those girls can shoot free throws, and in a big game, that's going to be the difference in winning and losing.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, though, it's a lot of pressure under those girls because if they don't win a state championship, it's been a bad season.
Yeah.
They went to the championship game last year and lost in the last minutes. So the Winona Dragons up here waiting for them.
Yeah, I know.
5 straight state championships, and until you can get beat the best, I guess we'll find out if they can finally do it this year.
Right. And I tell you, I watched that game last year, and the reason Winona beat them, Charles Henson, I thought, had a better team. Winona, though, pressed all over the court and just, kept, just made it tough for Charles Henson to bring it down and get set up. Everybody says, well, what does the press do? Did it take the ball away? Sure. And it causes turnovers? Sure. But at the same time, it sort of slows the game down, and it makes the other team have to work to get in position to run their offense. Wears them down. They got to have a lot of players.
They already have early Vegas lines out for next year. Troy Boise State game is one of them.
What is it?
What would you think the line is of Boise traveling to Troy?
6. Boise and 6.
Boise's an 8-point favorite. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's going to be a heck of a game. And that
Boise has won their conference, the Mountain West. Troy won the Sun Belt. Brian Hart's a good young coach at Boise. I don't know if he wants to stay at his alma mater.
He really is a good coach.
Somewhere else one day.
He is a good coach, and he's a class coach. We're talking about the coach at Boise State. One of the classiest guys out there, Mike.
Auburn will play Washington in Atlanta. What do you think that line would be?
Auburn 6. -6.
You're doing pretty good, man. Auburn -4.
Yeah, and of course Auburn will win that game. Hey, somebody can somebody play that game right now? Could they play the game right now?
This is early lines out of Vegas, and Alabama will play on September 1st in Orlando, Florida, which is different from their normal Atlanta. They were going to play in Orlando, Florida against Louisville. What do you think that line is?
In Orlando,
you
10.
got to remember Jackson's gone at quarterback.
Alabama giving, say, 11. Alabama -11.
How about Alabama -29.5?
No way. God, that's crazy.
29.5.
Oh, man.
Louisville.
Yeah, we're talking about a pretty good Louisville team.
That's a team that can score, usually.
And Braun's a good coach at Louisville, too.
No, Petrino.
Braun is at Western Kentucky. No, Braun is, where is Braun?
He's at Purdue.
Purdue, that's right. He's at Purdue now. But, and of course, that does tickle me that line would be so much.
Other games, Florida Atlantic. Lane Kiffin will travel to Oklahoma to open the season. Oklahoma's 21-point favorite.
Yeah.
Michigan at Notre Dame to start the season. Man, that'll be a good game. Notre Dame -2.
Yeah.
Then Jeremy Pruitt, Alabama's former defense coordinator, will open against West Virginia in Charlotte. West Virginia's favored by 8.
Boy, that's surprising.
Ole Miss, Texas Tech. This should be a shootout. Will be a pick-em in Houston, Texas.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you some sad news, Mike.
The season never ends.
Let me tell you some sad news, and of course, nobody's died, and really it's positive news for that individual, I'm sure. But we lost our outstanding linebacker coach. Coach Sumrall, Mike, is going to Ole Miss.
Oh, wow. I hate that. Yeah, he was a really good coach.
And really a good coach, a sharp.
Good recruiter.
Yeah, if you lined them all up, he is the sharpest guy on that staff, and he was a very impressive.
What a surprise to go to Ole Miss under probation, though. Boy, I'm very surprised with that move. They must be paying him a lot of money.
But, Mike, we're talking about money. A lot difference in the money, I'm sure, at Ole Miss. And this guy's a heck of a linebacker coach. He was a linebacker coach at Tulane for 3 years. I think he might have been an defensive coordinator, but an outstanding individual. And I tell you, he wrote a note on Facebook, and I that is so classy of him. He didn't have to do anything. He could have left and went to Ole Miss, but he told the people at Troy and the people in our community how much he and his family loved living here, and how they had become infatuated with so many good friends, and both at the university and in the community. And he was a tough hombre as far as a coach. And see, that's the kind of coach they need, is one of these guys getting folks' lap, you know. And we lose that. We lose that part of it.
It's one of those things where Neal Brown will basically tell him we'll meet again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. He could end up being. You know, you're right. And this guy at Ole Miss.
I tell you what. I think Ole Miss missed the boat on Neal Brown.
Yeah,
I think that would have been a great hire.
Oh, I would have thought that too. And or the UAB coach, one or the other.
Yeah. I mean, Matt Luke, found a way to get them to 6-6, but now they lost their quarterback. They lost 2 or 3 receivers. Yeah. They lost some offensive linemen. All those guys can transfer, and it's gonna be tough sledding at Ole Miss this year.
Luke is a Ole Miss guy. He's the yuppie type guy.
I don't know about that. His dad played there. He played there.
Well, what I'm saying, he's one of these guys, one of these Ole Miss Southern gentleman type guys.
Yeah, speaking of the UAB Blazers, their schedule's out for next year, and of course, Bill Clark goes 8-4, loses the bowl game, but they're going to have 6 home games, which I think will really help them this year. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does in his second year. He opens with a sure win. They play Savannah State.
Who now?
They start with a sure win. They play Savannah State.
Yeah.
Then they play at Coastal Carolina. Now, you've been to Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Last year.
Yeah, beautiful place. Beautiful place. That's going to be a great school.
Also, they beat Coastal Carolina, but then they play they got Tulane at home. That might be a tough game. Bye week, then they play Charlotte, at Louisiana Tech, at Rice, North Texas, UTEP, University of Texas San Antonio, Southern Miss. And their biggest travel of the year is they go to Texas A&M on November the 17th to play Jimbo Fisher.
Their schedule looks weak.
Yeah, it really does. Non-conference.
I mean, they'll win 8 games before they open the season, it looks like to me.
Well, I think they'll beat Savannah State. I think they'll beat Coastal. Tulane might be a tough game. They're getting better.
No, I know, but they'll beat Tulane. Where are they playing that game?
In Birmingham.
Yeah, they'll beat Tulane.
It's looking more and more like a 45,000-seat stadium will be built next to the BJ6C downtown Birmingham.
Boy, that'll help the UAB, and it will help. It really will help the city of Birmingham. Yeah. And
you rode by the other day and saw where that Top Golf is. It'll actually be right there. In between that Top Golf they built, which is like a real.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been to Birmingham lately,
driving range that has literally nets around downtown Birmingham that are about 10 stories high.
It's unreal. I've never seen anything like it, and it's in Birmingham. And Mike and I were riding down there, and I said, "What is that?" And it looks like a giant net, but what it is, it's a golf range. Hooked onto a bar and grill, is that right?
Yeah, I mean it's like individual booths you have where you have your own waitress, and you can have dinner and hit golf balls and have.
What? I'm gonna get Andrew Williams to go with me when I go.
Yeah, I'm sure Andrew Williams has probably been to one before. I would imagine.
Andrew Williams, one of the top long drivers in the world. Andrew Williams, that grew up, Johnny Williams' son, that grew up right here in Troy, is one of the top long-distance drivers in the world. Isn't that right, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, he's been the company.
Well, he won an event the other day with a drive of 413 yards. Yeah, 413 yards. And I remember, I let him borrow my driver one day when he was a kid. And he came back. He had the driver. He had the head in one hand and the what do you call it?
He had the shaft in one hand.
Had the shaft in one hand and the
driver head in the other.
And the driver head in the other hand. He said, "Mr. Amos, I'm sorry, I broke your driver." I said, "Well, what did you do?" I said, "You hit a rock or something?" He said, "No, I just hit the golf ball and it broke." And you know what? Those guys that hit it hard, they break them all the time, don't they?
Oh yeah. You know, they all have sponsors though, so they probably can just go through as many of them.
But Andrew Williams now, and we'll have him on our show before long. He's been on here before, and you look at the club speed, and Mike, it is phenomenal. People are going. I want to say his club speed is around 135 miles an hour.
Shoot, it might be more than that. Some professional guys are like 140, 150, like Dustin Johnson.
I know it. I mean, what I'm saying, in the high 30s. He might be up there in the 40s now, but we're talking about club speed. And it's just like bat speed in baseball, Mike. You know, once it hits that, especially these, now the wooden bat's a little different, but, you know, a college bat, you know, it's just like same stuff pretty much. Isn't that right?
Well, I mean, you've got, as far as, you talking about baseball?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about, you know, the cork and how light the bat is, and you know, some guys swing a heavy bat, some guys swing a light bat.
Yeah.
As far as in the wooden bats.
But of course, you know, hitting home runs, you know, people say, well, how did that little guy hit home runs, and how did that little guy hit a golf ball 300 yards? But it's all about club speed, isn't that right? The speed of the club.
Yeah, I mean, it's about that technique. I mean, that Justin Thomas, a kid from Alabama, I mean, he hits drives 360 yards. He weighs 140 pounds.
Oh, yeah, no question about it. Of course, we mentioned Coach Summerall, who is leaving Troy University, and, of course, now they'll have to find a linebacker coach. I ran into a guy the other night, Mike, and and he and his family had just moved to Troy, and I don't know exactly what his position is, but they're all the staff is down now, I reckon, to one guy, and that is to find somebody to play Summerall.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
And see, one thing about him, Mike, he was an outstanding recruiter, relentless recruiter.
I mean, I guess you could always look maybe to see Jeremy Rall would come back. I don't know.
Boy, I would tickle me to get Jeremy Rall, and he's a very good recruiter.
Yeah, former defense coordinator, of course, played at Troy, was a great player.
But now we just threw that out there. You know, I don't know what they're going to do.
I think he's still on the Georgia Southern staff.
And I would think that Jeremy and Coach Brown are good friends, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I would think they're on the same staff together. But you know, they retained that interim coach because, you know, they started playing really well late in the season.
What, at Georgia Southern?
Yeah.
Man, isn't that something?
Yeah, so they fired Tyson Summers and keep the interim coach.
Well, like you said, they did play the last 2 or 3 games
and
pretty good.
A big-time program, though, at Georgia Southern. I just think they can get a pretty good coach.
Yeah. I tell you what, if you look at them on paper, just look or look at them on the field in their uniform, they are a good-looking football team. I don't know if it's that uniform that makes them look so good, but they look big and strong.
Yeah, I like their helmets. I mean, I think they got a chance to, get back, quickly. And the first couple of years they were in the Sun Belt, they dominated.
Right now, if you were going to name the top 4 or 5 teams in the conference, as far as programs in the conference, of course, you'd have to put Georgia Southern in there. You'd have to put Appalachian State in there. You put Troy in there.
Troy and Arkansas State.
Arkansas State, yeah, that's right, Arkansas State. Now, what are you going to do with, Louisiana Lafayette is borderline, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they're kind of a hit and miss kind of team.
And now, who did they hire as a coach?
They hired the former Alabama receivers coach, Billy Napier.
Oh, really? So Napier is at Lafayette now.
Lafayette, yeah.
All right. Of course, you got to think that South Alabama is going to be much better with Coach Campbell, former Troy great as their head coach.
I mean, let's be honest, Steve Campbell's won everywhere he's ever been. Yeah. I would always kind of thought that he might be on the short list of Troy one day if that job came up. But,
recruiting wise, I'd take South Alabama's recruiting area over anybody's, maybe in the whole country.
I will say that Lion Stadium, everybody bashes Legion Field, but Lion Stadium's a dump.
I agree, but the area where they recruit.
Joey Jones on his way out the door definitely said it really hurt not having an on-campus stadium. They got the money to do it. I mean, they got a medical school.
Well, and they've got the plan already there too, and they were building something the other day and it collapsed. The ground gave.
They were building like an indoor-outdoor practice facility, kind of like what UAB has.
And they had to stop construction because the ground fell on them. Is that right?
Yeah, there was some kind of accident or something happened out there. I remember that happening.
Yeah. But all right, you look at South Alabama. They recruit the Mobile area, and it's just loaded with talent. That's right there at them. Then they move down to the Panhandle and Pensacola, Fort Walton, Panama City. There are good football players there.
All those Mississippi Junior
they recruit pretty heavily from Montgomery all the way down to the Florida line, and that's a very good area. And then they recruit the Mississippi Gulf Coast, which is loaded with talent, especially junior college talent that can help you right away. And then parts of Louisiana. Let me tell you, South Alabama has a great recruiting area. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, right now, if you had to, all right, let me ask this. If you had to pick one of the best areas in the country, United States, to recruit players, that is as good as you're going to get. I'm telling you.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where
one thing, the junior college players, you're right on top of players that can help you right now,
Yeah, Joey Jones I think, made it to one bowl game and only finished 500 one other time. And I think they were just kind of looking for a change. Of course, he beat Troy this year and he beat Arkansas State. So they obviously still got some talent down there.
Oh, yeah. And with this young coach.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Lion Stadium holds about 40,000, but it's just not very nice.
I say he's young, but Campbell is in his 50s now.
Campbell's 51.
Yeah, 51, and of course played right here at Troy and was an outstanding player.
Amazing. They got 3 guys on their staff that played at Troy: Campbell, Greg Stewart, Haystack, and now Edding.
That's right. The head coach and the two coordinators. The head coach and the 2 coordinators played at Troy.
Yep.
On the national championship teams.
Yeah. So it's like exactly. Troy University South now.
Exactly right, and they're hard.
I got to talk about this baseball schedule Troy's got here in a second. You would not believe some of these games they're playing.
And some of them are going to play them at home, aren't they?
I know, but I mean, you would not believe that they open.
Well, I tell you what, let's do. Let's take a short break, and we'll be right back, and we're going to go over Troy University's baseball schedule. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll stay right here. Evidently, we'll stay right here. Go ahead and give it to us, Mike.
The new Smokehouse Pizza from Little Caesars is our first pizza with 3 smoked meats. So we got barbecue champion Big Mo Quezon to test it out. 8-hour smoked brisket.
Certified beefified.
10-hour smoked pulled pork.
Certified hoggified.
Applewood smoked bacon.
Certified baconfied.
Drizzled with tangy barbecue sauce plus a Smokehouse seasoned crust.
Certified smokified.
The new Smokehouse Pizza. Only $9 and only at Little Caesars.
Troy Cable is the leader in smart home security, giving you solutions to monitor, protect, and automate your home. Troy Cable Security keeps your property safe with 24/7 professional monitoring and emergency response. Control thermostats and lighting remotely, which allow options for saving energy and money. Control access to your home remotely with integrated controls for door locks. You can even add our smart home cameras, which allow you to see what you care about instantly. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
Never know how.
Here's some Napa know-how for you. Your local Napa Auto Parts store in Troy is under new ownership with an all-new, fully stocked store. Big deal, you say? Big deal, we say. Like the ownership, the store has a new look, too. We're still delivering the same Napa quality and know-how, but we've increased our inventory and are committed to helping you find the parts you need when you need them. So come check us out. We've got the right part at the right price at the right time.
Here we go. Back to our show, and that Napa card is a great gift idea. Drop by Trojan Auto Parts on South Brundy Street and pick one up. It's a wonderful gift card that will allow the person you give that card to be able to shop at one of the top auto parts stores in the country. Napa, located on South Brundy Street. My good friend Mike Kilcrease. And Mike, you know Mike Kilcrease's son pretty well, is that right?
Yeah, I've known Stephen for a long time, coached at Pike Liberal Arts.
Yeah, they love him at Arrington, don't they? They love him at Arrington. They loved him here at Pike Liberal Arts, too.
We grew up around the same age. He went to Pike Liberal Arts, I went to Charles Henderson, but he's a good guy. Him and Chuck Dunn are doing a great job down in Arrington.
And Chuck is one of his close friends, isn't that right?
Yeah, they got actually a ladies basketball team at Arrington. I think they've only lost 2 games. They got some really good players.
Is Chuck coaching them, or who's coaching them?
Yeah, the women's team. Chuck is coaching with Steven helping him.
Well, that's good. Oh, they're having fun, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm sure they are. Yeah, that's definitely a good little school down there. I guess growing up, I just had no clue how close Arrington was. I mean, to get to that school from Troy is like about 15 minutes.
That's right. Well, and I used to go eat catfish down there, and I loved it. And gosh, I wish they'd open it back up. I loved it. But I tell you what, though, Mike, I had some catfish, whole catfish. You know how your mama always likes the whole catfish out at Mossy Grove? Mm-hmm. Well, I had the whole catfish the other night. I got it to go, 2 whole catfish and a couple of sides. And, buddy, it was good. The whole catfish at Mossy Grove.
I'll tell you what, I'd love to go out there and just sit there and eat hush puppies.
They've got a catfish place.
I've still never been anywhere else in the United States of America that has hush puppies that good than Mossy Grove.
Oh yeah, they really do, and of course they are very good. And I would like to also mention, catfish. They've got a catfish restaurant in Andalusia. And it's all you can eat catfish. That's why, that can be good.
Catfish on the bone or catfish fillet?
Well, I don't know how. I think it's catfish fillet. Huh. But you can, and of course it would tickle me if Troy had something like that. Of course, Sisters yesterday, Monday at Sisters, Mike, I had fried oysters and fried shrimp combination. That's what I had for lunch at Sisters on Monday.
Well, we're talking about the Troy baseball schedule. Of course, Coach Smart, I guess, is he going into, his 3rd year, 4th year?
Yeah, that's right. I want to say 3rd year. I might be wrong.
But anyway, they open the season at home against UT Martin. Of course, UT Martin is 1AA in football, but Division I and everything else. What is UT Martin's nickname?
It used to be the oh gosh, I don't know.
They're now called the Skyhawks.
All right, the Skyhawks. They were named after a horse buggy before.
Yeah, that is a good question. What was their nickname before? Back when Troy used to play them, I can't remember either. But they play those games, and then they'll travel to Auburn to Plainsman Park on February the 21st to play at Auburn.
Yeah, on February the 21st. That'd be early in the year, won't it?
Now listen to this schedule right here. I mean, Coach Smart's not doing his team any favor. Then he'll travel to Tallahassee and play at Dix Hauser Stadium on February 23rd. But not only will they play him on the 23rd, they'll play him on the 24th and the 25th.
Well, that'd be a lot of fun to go down there to watch that, wouldn't it?
I mean, that'd be a lot of fun just to go one day.
Yeah, well, and go and spend the weekend down there and go to every one of those games. That'd be a great.
That's a lot of people don't realize that Tallahassee is actually 2.5 hours, just like it is to go to Tuscaloosa from Troy.
That's right.
So I would imagine Troy would have a lot of fans down there, and that's a great stadium. It's a ball game. They had that unique net where it's so high that there's a lot of doubles.
Yeah.
Off that high net down there. You weren't there when you were.
No, I didn't. I missed that. That was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Troy beat Alabama twice down there in the regional.
And that was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. But then Troy comes back on the 28th, and they play their biggest nemesis as far as having a tough time beating UAB at home. And then they play another 3-game series after that against Texas Tech.
Oh boy, at home.
Not Texas Tech, sorry, Tennessee Tech. A little bit different.
Tennessee Tech, yeah.
And then they play Sanford and Birmingham. They've got Gardner Webb at home. UAB in Birmingham at Regents Field, so that'd be a fun trip.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure would.
The minor league ballpark downtown.
Yeah.
Which is not next to a lot of restaurants, a lot of things to do. Then they start Sunbelt play against Little Rock. They'll have Sanford come out to Troy. They'll have Alabama State in Troy. And then they'll play Jack State at Rudy Abbott Field.
So they've got a great non-conference schedule, don't they?
Yeah, and then they play late April 24th at Sewell Thomas Stadium against Alabama, so they continue to play Alabama and Auburn.
So, do they play Alabama and Auburn at home, though, or do they play them on the road?
They play Alabama and Auburn on the road.
So they won't play them at home. They do not play Alabama and Auburn at home.
No, and then they play an unbelievable matchup in Birmingham at the Hoover Met. They come up and play Mississippi State on May the 9th.
Oh, man. Will they play one or two games?
No, Auburn does come to Troy. Sorry, I didn't see this game. Auburn will play in Troy on May 15th.
Wonderful. I tell you what, that is a great schedule, and
that's the best. That's the best. One of the best non-conferences I've ever seen.
It ought to sell some tickets. I'll tell you right now, it ought to sell some tickets, and you know what? I might try to put together a bus to that Tallahassee weekend. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, it'd be nice down there. The weather'd be good. I mean, it wouldn't be too hot. It'd be a fun trip.
Mike, you know a team that is very quietly, starting to make or assert itself in college athletics is the University of West Florida. Have you noticed how good they are?
Well, they played in the national championship game after only 2 years.
In football, the national championship game. And now they also have a good baseball team, and they have a good basketball team.
Well, I mean, you used to referee basketball games.
Oh, yeah. Years ago, I used to referee basketball, but they're going to be big time. That's going to be a big-time school one day, Mike. Don't you agree?
It might be one of those that makes the jump to Division I and plays in the Sun Belt one day.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, exactly. And, of course, it's going to be a big school. We know that. You know one of the largest schools in Georgia? You know where it's located?
In Georgia.
All right, I'm going to let you know where it's located. It's located in Marietta, Georgia.
In Marietta? Kennesaw State?
Kennesaw State, they say, has 20,000 students now. Can you believe that?
Good. They're really good in basketball and football now, too.
And their program is moving up. In fact, I think they're Division I AA now.
Yeah, they're Division I in everything except football.
Yeah, and so their program is growing right there in Atlanta, and the school is growing. So that's another school to watch. University of West Florida and Kennesaw State are two teams to watch. Now, I don't you're right. It conceivably both those teams could be in the Sun Belt one day. You never can tell.
Yeah, because I think one of these days that Conference USA will probably come after South Alabama. I think they'll want that Mobile market if there's some more realignment going on.
Yeah. And, of course, people ask me all the time. I hear people say, "Oh, no, wouldn't we be better off in the the Conference USA?" I disagree. I like Troy's situation in the Sun Belt because every year, and I've said this before, hear this right now. Most every team plays 12 games. And then if they're lucky, they can play in a bowl game. That's 13 games.
Everybody every team is required to play 12
I
games.
know it, all right, but if they got a good enough team, they can play in a bowl game. All right, every team.
Next year they'll have a conference championship game,
yeah.
so you'll have a chance to play 14.
All right, that's right. Exactly. You hit it right there. Now with the conference championship game, 2 lucky teams have a chance to play for the conference championship and have 13 games. Then they play in a bowl game. They would have 14 games. 14 games. You know, you got a chance for in the Sun Belt every year if you got a good team. All right. To me, like I said, every team in the nation it's in a conference that had a playoff had a chance to play 13 games, then go to a bowl game, play 14 games. Only 2 teams in the United States of America really actually get a chance to play that 14th game, and that is the 2 teams that are playing for the national championship. Don't you agree? Other than that, all of the major colleges that go to a bowl game have the same reward playing for in a bowl game.
Yeah, I mean, the 14 playoff, I mean, basically, I would imagine getting to the playoffs is a pretty big deal. But, I mean, you know, Alabama over these last few years has played 15 games. It's just hard to believe.
Exactly. But think of the revenue that for Alabama that is.
Oh, yeah.
But I love the idea that Troy's going to play 6 games at home every year, and we're going to have 6 nice Saturdays to go out to the stadium, tailgate, and enjoy the band and enjoy the festivities. I mean, you can't beat that for a town of 20,000 people located in southeast Alabama, and we've got pageantry. I'll put our pageantry up against most anybody's. We've got 52 cheerleaders. We got the best Sound of the South marching band in the country. Mike, don't you agree?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a great environment. I mean, I think the new stadium expansion is going to make, you know, the fan experience a lot better. And I think the crowd noise is going to be a lot better at games, too, as far as it being enclosed.
I had a guy back in the back here just joked to me. He said, 52 cheerleaders, no way. At Troy University, counting their cheerleaders that have the guys, what it calls co-ed cheerleaders. All right, you got your co-ed cheerleaders. I think that's 8. I want to say 8. Then there's a all-girl group that has over 40 girls in it. And then plus you've got your dance team, which you have to add them another 15 or 20. So you've got 60 or 70 beautiful young ladies jumping up and around, and the marching band. The pageantry at Troy is great, and we've got it right here in our town, Troy, Alabama. Now, if it wasn't Division I, it may be a big difference. Don't you agree?
Well, I mean, I think everybody knows the power of Division I by now. If they don't, they're out of their mind. I mean, look at the population of Troy in general.
Yeah. And another thing, Mike, we're going to get a check. I would think our check would be at least a couple of million. Wouldn't you think?
So you get a check for what?
Don't you think we'll get a check from the bowls and all of that? Don't they have a deal like that where if you go to a bowl game, they give you they write you a check?
Yeah, I mean certain bowl games do.
The TV revenue part of that. I mean, I think Troy makes a little money when they go to the bowl games in that respect, where everybody puts in goes into one big pot, and the teams that participate get a check, don't they?
I mean, travel and stuff like that. You know, I mean, I don't know. You might end up even when it's all said and done, maybe.
Yeah, but
on the bowl stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some schools lose money on bowl trips.
And I'll tell you another thing: the conference playoff is going to enhance the revenue a little bit too, because of course that'll go into the conference pocket, but I think they'll they'll put all the teams that played in the bowl games, or the whole conference will get a certain amount of revenue from bowls, I would think.
Well, I mean, in the SEC, the bowl contracts are through the roof.
Oh yeah, they're huge.
That's where they make all the money.
Well, see, the SEC
network pays them like $8 million.
Yeah, that's right. And they put all that money in a pot, and then they divide it equally, I would think, among all the teams. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
I think they check it something like $15 or $20 million a year too. I think something like that.
Thing that.
So I think the Sun Belt probably has some kind of little revenue or check they write after all these teams have participated in bowls and other revenue-type sports.
Yeah, but I mean, it's definitely one of those type things that's,
I don't think TV really pays them that much.
I mean, most colleges, as far as they make money off the NCAA basketball tournament more than they do. Basketball is more of a
what I'm saying, that's part of it. Yeah,
more of a money maker than football is.
I think it is. Because they get that TV revenue, don't they?
That's right. Yeah.
And of course, if you make the tournament like we did last year, we got a little bit of a check there, didn't we?
Say what?
When Troy made it to the tournament last year, I think they got a little check out of that, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. For going to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, of course we don't know the figures and all that, but it is certain revenue that you do get from going to the bowl games, and so it makes it pretty good. Last night, Mike, I watched the Charles Henderson girls play, and man, they weren't even close. They're a dominant team. They've got, of course, the Davenport girl. And then they've got the Seiler girl, and then they've got the Jones girl, the coach's daughter, who is phenomenal, Mike. I mean, this girl might be the best free throw shooter maybe that ever come through this part of the country. Can you believe that? She doesn't miss at the line. You foul her, you're giving up points.
Well, who is the big girl, like the Davenport girl? Who's looking at her as far as?
Well, she's just a junior. So, see, she's not a senior, and but her senior year she'll have a bunch of folks. Of course, there were several people several coaches at the Charles Henderson boys game last night to see this big kid at Brew Tech, and and I'm sure they couldn't help but see a couple of Henderson High kids. One of them is the Campbell kid. Big, strong kid, Mike, and I think he's just a junior and has another year in high school football, too. So he is a fine-looking player.
I tell you, that Charles Henderson gym's been there a long time. Was it there when you were in
yes, but it's been remodeled, and it is beautiful. I mean, their floor is just beautiful.
And as far as seating, they have enough seating as well?
Well, I don't know about the seating. It was pretty crowded. It's called Betty Wagg's Gymnasium, named after Betty Wagner, the great teacher, and everybody loved her, and they named the gym after her. And
yeah, you don't see that very much at a hospital, that a teacher that, like Miss Wagner didn't coach athletics. But
have you ever been around a more dominant person in your life? I mean, somebody that...
I guess her office and classroom was attached to the gym, so that's pretty amazing that's named after her. That's pretty. I mean, for a lady that served as long as she is, that's a great thing.
Oh yeah, no question about it. And I was hoping I would be able to get some stats. I noticed that the Dothan paper was there last night, and I would think that they would have some scores and some stats on Charles Henderson last night.
Where did you set up? Did you set up high?
Yeah, set up at the top of the bleachers. Yeah. At the top of the bleachers, and we got.
I've called a lot of sporting events with you. I don't think I ever called a basketball game.
Yeah, but it is fun, and we enjoyed it last night. I tell you, they run up and down the court. That Charles Henderson runs up and down the court like you wouldn't believe. And the officiating, they have 3 officials, and they let them play. So that made it easier.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where I guess Brubaker Tech, are they in the same area as Charleston or something?
Yeah, they're in the same area. And
so all those officials probably call all their games.
They do, and of course Brubaker.
Where's Brubaker located in Montgomery?
I think downtown. Now, see, you got the Lamp. You've got they're a magnet school. They've got the Lamp school too. I don't think they're the same ones.
That's where Richard and Brittany's daughter goes, Eloise.
Yeah, goes to the Lamp school, and it's. I want to say it's located outside on the edge of town.
Okay.
But
I don't remember Brubaker Tech. I guess that name, maybe the school started about 10 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, maybe even longer than that. It's been around quite a while, and of course, these kids are outstanding students too.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a short break, Mike. We're gonna take a short break. Stay with us, and we'll be right back.
The new Smokehouse Pizza from Little Caesars is our first pizza with 3 smoked meats. So we got barbecue champion Big Mo Quezon to test it out. 8-hour smoked brisket.
Certified beefified.
10-hour smoked pulled pork.
Certified hoggified.
Applewood smoked bacon.
Certified baconfied.
Drizzled with tangy barbecue sauce plus a smokehouse seasoned crust.
Certified smokified.
The new Smokehouse Pizza. Only $9 and only at Little Caesars.
Troy Cable is the leader in smart home security, giving you solutions to monitor, protect, and automate your home. Troy Cable Security keeps your property safe with 24/7 professional monitoring and emergency response. Control thermostats and lighting remotely, which allow options for saving energy and money. Control access to your home remotely with integrated controls for door locks. You can even add our smart home cameras, which allow you to see what you care about instantly. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandbeck Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandbeck Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandbeck is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandbeck Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
Here's some Napa know-how for you. Your local Napa Auto Parts store in Troy is under new ownership with an all-new fully stocked store. Big deal, you say? Big deal, we say. Like the ownership, the store has a new look, too. We're still delivering the same Napa quality and know-how, but we've increased our inventory and are committed to helping you find the parts you need when you need them. So come check us out. We've got the right part at the right price at the right time.
Know-how, Napa know-how.
Yeah.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, and of course brought to you by some wonderful sponsors, and we appreciate them so much. Dixieland Dental, located 9 miles north of Dothan on Highway 231. Dr. Michael Precise, Dr. John Strength, Dr. Damon Strength. We appreciate them, and of course Dr. Robert Precise make up one of the largest dental clinics in Alabama. In this a unique setting, our guys do a wonderful job. And of course, our background is really outstanding on this show, and I appreciate them very much, the job they do for us. Of course, Mike Amos is on the other line right now, and we were talking, they're talking about this player that transferred from Louisville. And first of all, I always wonder why he transferred from Louisville with a year left to play. But what he is, Mike, his name is Trayvon Samuel, or excuse me.
I think he wanted to get closer to home. He's from Phoenix City.
Yeah. Well, he's 5'7", and he started receiver. Started 6 games for the Cardinals, and finished 5th on the team with 21 catches for 339 yards. He finished his career at Louisville with 57 catches, 746 yards, and 2 touchdowns. While rushing, he rushed for 162 yards and 2 touchdowns on just 17 carries. He averaged 26, or right at 27 yards on 12 kickoff returns his freshman years, including a 100-yard return against Clemson. So he's going to be a kickoff return guy too, Mike, which Troy...
well, Troy's already got...
I know it. Troy's got the best in the country right now, the young man from Enterprise.
I mean, if you put both of them back there, that could be scary.
Well, let me just say this. One of the best in the nation on third down last year. All right, one of the best in the nation on third down last season. Samuel ranked 24th in the country, averaging 25 yards on 6 touchdown on 6 third down catches. So that was.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like this guy can fly.
4 of his 6 catches went for first downs, while 4 registered 15 yards or more, including a 78-yard grab of the 7th longest on third down in the country last year. He was rated the number 8 all-purpose back in the nation out of high school by 247 Sports rating system, and so he's he, like you said, he played at Central, and listen to this. This is really unreal. Finished his career at Central with 60. Now listen to this: 60 total touchdowns scored, and tallied more than 5,000 all-purchase yards. Can you believe that?
Yeah,
that is phenomenal. Troy had won 24 out of his last 27 games, dating back to 2015, and winning percentage is ranked 8th best in the nation. Troy's featured 7 bowl teams, and Trojans posted 6-1 marks in those games. So that's pretty good too, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Troy's got some, really good receivers coming back, but they did lose McCormick, Emmanuel Thompson, John Johnson, and but they've got they got the star, number 80. God, I'm going blank on his name. The kid from Huntsville that's so good, he's back. And then Willis, who was, the MVP, phenomenal in the bowl game.
Yeah, no, 15.
He's back. And then you got, the real good receiver, number 13, that got hurt against Arkansas State.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of deep balls.
Yeah, he got a funny name. What's his name? Unusual name, not funny.
He's back as well. So, I mean, Troy's got some great wide receivers coming back.
Where Troy has got a field.
More. I mean, the problem is now who's going to get on the ball? We got to find out who the quarterback's going to be.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be interesting, and this kid is going to probably run the ball a lot from his receiver position, and he might be in the Wildcat, but he's not a big guy. He's just 5'7", but evidently he's the real deal, and Troy is fortunate to get him. And we're excited about it.
I mean, obviously, he wanted to get closer to home, and then, he wants to, show out, possibly to get to the next level. And he thinks he'll probably get more chances at Troy. So good for Troy.
Oh yeah, no question about it.
We'll take all those guys you can get.
Kason Campbell scored 17 points for Charles Henderson last night in their big win. And they've got some good players, and they're young players, and I would think that Charles Henderson's going to be pretty good for the next 2 or 3 years in basketball. Of course, it was fun seeing a packed gym last night, Mike, and it's a tough place to play. It's loud, man, I'm telling you, and rowdy, and it's always good to have a good home court advantage. And I'm sure Coach Cunningham, who was at the game last night, said over and over how much he wished he had that kind of atmosphere at home. It would give Troy a huge advantage if it did, Troy University.
Well, somebody said Troy had the 4th largest crowd in history the other night. Is that right?
I don't know, 3,100 fans.
That's pathetic if that's the 4th largest crowd.
Yeah, I don't know about that because I'd been in some games in the old gym.
That's what they said. You went to the game. Did they have that many people there? I mean, it was.
Yeah, it was, but
it was $1 to get in, wasn't it?
Yeah, $1 to get in. I tell you, you know, if somebody said something to you about $1 hot dog, what would that mean?
$1 hot dog wouldn't mean that much.
No, I know, but would it mean that you get one hot dog, or two, or three, or four?
I mean, $1 hot dog would be one hot dog, I would think.
Yeah, one hot dog, exactly. And, you know, I saw some people getting 3 or 4. And when I got up there, all they would give you was one. You know, one hot dog's not going to feed me, you know.
Yeah, I understand.
But then, of course, they gave you a $1 popcorn and $1 cold drink. And I think that's a good thing. They ought to do maybe you know, in the future, you know, to do something like that.
Do they sell draft beer at games?
You know, I didn't see any of that. You know, and I'm wondering.
Different events in Birmingham, they do like Thirsty First.
Well, you know, Troy had done that in the past, but I did not see any of that, or at least you don't see any of it much. I don't think they do. I don't think they sell it anymore.
They do it at baseball games.
Yeah, I know it, and they used to at and I see it.
And they do it at football games, I know.
And but you don't see it. You know, it's not as big a thing as I think they expected.
That's one thing we talked about all the time. The attendance for this basketball team and this program is just so sad, considering the product. I mean, you had a team that went 22-15, went the NCAA tournament last year, and I was thinking there would be a lot bigger crowds this year. And I've watched a lot of games on TV on ESPN3, and still just doesn't look like anybody's there. It's really sad for these players.
But of course, it was a good crowd. I tell you what, and of course Troy
should be averaging at least 3,000 a game as a Division I program.
That's right, no question.
To average 3,000 a game, shoot, probably when we're Division II.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this: it was because they had so many rivalries. You know, they had a bunch of rivalries back in those days. I'll say this: you know, I thought it was pretty good promotion, and I think it helped bring some people in there. I tell you, if you want to fill the gym, you know what you can do? Charge you $1 a beer.
I'm saying Thirsty Thursdays. They do that.
Hey, and give them a minimum of 3 or 4. Hey, they would fill the arena probably.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where you know, we used to get to South Alabama basketball games when Troy played down there, and they've been selling beer down there for years. So selling beer at basketball arenas is, you know, not that big of a deal. They don't sell them in the SEC. Yeah. You can't get a beer at Coleman Coliseum or any place like that.
No, I noticed that. You're right. I noticed Alabama and Auburn.
BJCC, my wife and I went to that Alabama-Texas game. There was beer vendors everywhere.
Yeah. But you're right. They don't do it at Alabama and Auburn. So, and I don't know if they still do it at Troy. I haven't seen a whole lot of it, to tell you the truth.
I'm pretty sure they do. I know they do for football games, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe they've changed as far as baseball and basketball. Maybe they didn't think it was worth their while.
Exactly. Well, I tell you what, that was an exciting game last night for Charles Henderson, and I'm gonna maybe try to do a couple more games for them. Pike County High School.
Did Charles Henderson ever play at Trojan Arena? I mean,
no, and I wish they would.
Like a little tournament there for a bunch of high schools around the local area.
Years ago, they played one game a year at Old Sartain, and I thought it was always. I think they played Pike County there every year, and it would take a minute.
Are you going to walk into Sartain before it gets the wrecking ball? When's that going to happen?
Well, you know, I tell people the story and they don't believe me, that I was the first person to ever put a basketball through a goal at Sartain Hall. Let me. You've heard the story, haven't you?
I don't know if I've heard that story.
When I was a kid,
working down in Troy doing something?
No. When I was a kid, Mike, at 12 or 13 years old, we used to go over all the time and shoot basketball at the old outdoor basketball courts. Well, they were building, in the process of building Sartain Hall. So let's see, I can date it better than that now. Let's see, that was in 1960. I would say 60 or 61, something like that. And that would have made me, 12, 13. I was right. But they had the goals up, right? They had put the goals up, and the backboard still had the cardboard. It was still wrapped in cardboard, but the orange goal was showing, was open.
Yeah.
But it was up there, but the fiberglass backboard had was still covered. All right. I took a basketball and I shot it through that goal. Well, what do you think? Do you think I might have been the first one to ever put a ball through a goal at Sartain Hall?
You might have been. I don't know.
I mean, really, I'm serious as I can be.
What was going on? Was there
because it was just like they just put the goal up and they still had
was the floor already out?
No, the floor, it was still a concrete floor. Still a concrete floor before they put the wood on there. And I shot it through there. Jack Mosley Morrison was with me, and Jimmy Shirley was with me when I did it. Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at the guy, the first person ever to put a goal through a basket at Sartain Hall. And the sad thing...
that sounds like the Troy Messenger ought to cover that before they demolish it.
And the sad thing about everything is they're going to tear the old Sartain down. Well, I went to a concert there the other night, Mike, and it was perfect. It was perfect for a concert.
Isn't that amazing that Wright Hall will survive?
Yeah, I know it.
It's still up, and then Sartain will be torn down.
And Wright Hall, I went to Wright Hall when I was a younger boy, and let's see, probably in the 7th grade or so, maybe the 8th grade, and I would sneak in the game. Doc Watson called me a Mousy, the chief gate crasher. I didn't have any money. That's the only way. Hey, if I could sneak in, I'd have enough money to buy some popcorn. But we had some good times back in those days, and saw some great basketball.
Don Maestri and David Felix will definitely shed a tear when it gets demolished.
Oh boy, the site of 258, where Troy scored 258 points in one game. I was there. Was you there with me?
Yeah, I was there.
258 points.
We were actually two of the legit people that were there. There's several people that claimed they were there.
Yeah.
That's one of those games that.
And Mike, I want to say there was.
They were there. They weren't there.
Yeah, Mike, didn't it snow that day? It was on. I want to say it was on a Sunday afternoon or a Saturday afternoon. Was it Sunday or Saturday?
It was on a Sunday. That game was.
Yeah, and it was not at night. It was in the day.
Yeah, it was around after. It was after church. It was weird.
That's right, and.
But everybody was going because of what had happened the year before, so it was almost like a Hollywood stage production,
Troy had scored 189 that they had scored the year before.
I think so, yeah.
189, but ladies and gentlemen, in this game, Troy scored 258 points. They scored 130. I want to say 130 in the first half. 130 points first half. Now, the phenomenal thing, everybody said, oh, no defense. They didn't even play any defense or whatever. Hey, Troy hit 51 three-pointers out of 106, I want to say. 51. There were 51 out of 106 from the three-point line. And of course, how would you like to have kept the score like I was keeping a makeshift?
The scoreboard couldn't keep the numbers.
Yeah.
They had to, I think they just had to keep up with Manly.
That's right. Well, what they did, you're right, and I don't know exactly what they did, but I'm sure they just once it got to 100. You know, a lot of scoreboards wouldn't show 100. You know, like it would just show up till 99. So then what they would do, they would just start counting lower than that.
Yeah, that's one of those things where you had to see it to believe it. I would do anything if there was somehow a video of that game.
I think there is somewhere. I want to say Don Maestri probably has it. Of course, you know, there's a special place for that in the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. You've seen that before.
Yeah, I mean
the goal. I mean, I want to say the goal is there, the net's there, the basketball's there.
National Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Mike, you can't see me right now, but I'm holding up a Hook 'em Horns sign. You remember Andrew Jeske, the official? That's where he pointed with the two fingers like that.
Yeah, he still lives up here in Birmingham.
Yeah, and he was one of the officials, and they would. I think I knew all three of them, and they officiated that game, and it was just phenomenal. And again, anybody wants to argue with you, tell them to go out and start shooting from the free throw line. See how long it takes you to get 51 3-pointers.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, there was a lot of as far as the teams kind of wanting to see how many they could score.
Yeah.
I mean, the coaches, let them play
and they would
shots.
Yeah.
Instead of making layups, they'd pass it back out and shoot threes. But
you had those two kids from Kentucky, and then you had the great All-American.
Terry McCord.
Terry McCord got what? Did he get 39 or 40 or something like that?
At least. I mean, you had so many scores on those Troy teams back then. That's when Troy averaged. Troy averaged close to 110 a game that year.
Exactly. Mike, they've announced the Hall of Fame, and of course, the guy that we have been wanting to get in there for so long is definitely going in this year. And of course, he was a great one in baseball. Who would that be? You've seen them all. I want you to tell me who that would be.
Wendell Stevens.
Wendell Stevens will go into the Sports Hall of Fame this spring. Now, there's a lot of people that are going in, and it looks like they're taking almost a person from each sport, which I don't like, and they're taking also some people that didn't play sports and putting them in the Hall of Fame. It's supposed to be a Sports Hall of Fame, and and they'll directly. People say, well, Benny Beard should be in there, and yes, because he would had a huge impact on Troy going Division I. But people say like that to Johnny Long, who I love as much as anybody loves a man in town. He's one of my very good friends, but he shouldn't have been in the Sports Hall of Fame. He's already in the Bandmasters Hall of Fame, but he was a band director.
Well, I mean, I don't know. The association, the Sound of the South Marching Band, because they're so involved with sporting events. I mean,
yeah, well, no question, and I wouldn't argue with anybody, but I'm just saying I hope
the thing is, I mean, are you going to make it just like a university?
We put a broadcaster in there. I mean, does a broadcaster need to be in the Sports Hall of Fame?
Well, he was a broadcaster for sports. Yeah, that makes sense. I can see that more than I can see, somebody not being involved in athletics.
And at the same time, on down the line,
whoever they want to win.
Exactly, and I think they ought to put people in there that are up in the years too, because.
Well, we got Coach Sadler in, so that's good.
That's right, and that was such a huge thing in his life. It meant so much to him, and he cherishes it today. But I was thinking,
Coach Sadler was always worried about getting in the Wiregrass Hall of Fame, and he ended up getting the Troy Hall of Fame. I think that was a lot better.
But Mike, there was a shooter out of Atlanta that has got to go in there before long. He doesn't go in this time, but you remember him?
Daryl Thomas.
Daryl Thomas, a great one out of Atlanta. He holds.
He averaged about 24 points a game.
Yeah, I'd say to say. I think he holds the state the record for the most. No. He's one of the top 5 scorers in Troy history, and he only played 2 years.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was a guy that could have played SEC, no doubt.
And of course, this weekend.
You had to call Maestri one day and talk to him about all those old players. That'd be fun one day.
Yeah,
have him on.
That would be, no question. Now, this weekend, Person will
He'll break the Division I record this weekend.
Yeah, he'll be going after the Division. Is it called the Division I school record for points or
yeah, it's
overall?
Division I record.
Well, of course, the guy that holds it did not play in Division I.
That's what I'm saying. It's different records. He's breaking the record for his Division I. I think Anthony Hinton's got it for not Anthony Hinton. What's his name? They honored him 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh yeah, Anthony. The great one out of. He played up there in Minnesota.
Not Anthony Hinton. I don't know why I said that. He was
Anthony Reed, the great Anthony Reed.
Anthony Reed scored over 2,000 points.
Yeah, and of course he was a great player, and a person out of Brantley will break that record probably this weekend. I saw him last night at the game.
Division I think Anthony Reed's like somewhere around 2,500 points.
Yeah, something like that. And of course that's the way they do it. They do look at it. And see, Anthony Reed played 4 years too.
Yeah.
And let me just say something great about Anthony Reed.
Person played 4 years.
Yeah, that's right. Person played 4 years. You're exactly right. Let me say this too about Anthony Reed. If he could have shot free throws, he would have averaged 30 points a game. He was a poor free throw shooter, and he got fouled all the time. You remember that?
Yeah, he was a great down low big man, though. You couldn't stop him.
Oh, and he played hard. Oh, and he jumped out of the gym. He wasn't but 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, I mean, Troy had guys like Tony Holly, and the guys that Maestri and Felix recruited were just unbelievable.
You mentioned a name though by mistake.
Troy didn't ever have the 6'8", 6'10" guys, but they had some 6'5", 6'6" guys that were some of the best you'll ever see.
Yeah, no question about it. And it seemed like that Maestri and them came up with a different one every year that was going to be a good player. You mentioned the name Anthony Hinton, Mike. Boy, was he good.
Yeah.
You remember Anthony Hinton from Birmingham? Now he should be in the Hall of Fame one day. He played quite a few years in the pros, didn't he?
Yeah, he played for the Steelers.
And he was a great player. And thank you.
Hall of Fame debate. We can talk about it every day.
Thank you, sir.
It's always something that people are going to have opinions on who should be in, who's not going to be in, and then when you can only get 8 in. I mean, I don't know. Do you do 2 football players and 2 basketball and 2 baseball a year, or do you do?
I don't know. I just wish they would have a vote, and then a vote count, and see who gets the most votes, and put them in every year. That's the way I think. But and of course, there's some great ones.
It's one of those things where when you got committees, you got you got people that want a track and field, and you got people that want football. You just got different people want different things.
And just think of how many great baseball players could still go in, and how many great basketball players and great football players. Somebody mentioned the name Tim Tucker the other day. Oh boy, what a great player he was. He deserves to go in the Hall of Fame. But more than anybody, how I was so much for Wendell Stevens going in, and but hey, how about Kelvin Summons? Whoa, the great Kelvin Summons should go in as soon as they have a next ballot.
He only played 2 years.
Yeah, but again, he was a great one, and Bobby Insland played only 2 years, and decided he wouldn't play his senior year. Vince Green played his senior year, and of course he's another one that I think should go in one day very soon. And I'm not on that committee. I've never been on the committee.
Why did Bobby Insland not play his senior year? Because Sam had graduated?
Yeah, he just wanted to go ahead and graduate, and probably had a lot to do with it. The next year with Al Head, they had another great team. They didn't lose but 1 game the next year.
Oh, really?
And they had some kind of discrepancy came up where they couldn't make the playoffs, and or they would have won it probably for 2 years in a row. But
all right, man. Well, I'm about to get on the road and head to Titletown, Tuscaloosa.
Titletown, you're going to Tuscaloosa, Alabama?
That's right.
A home of how many national championships?
Well, they claim 17. I think it's more realistically like around 12.
Okay, they don't have any new statues going up, do they?
Well, they put the 2017 next to the Saban statue.
You mean he's got more than one now of him?
That's on the Walk of Champion.
Yeah, I got you.
You know, the champions.
Yeah.
Well, no, they put all the years next to the statue that you won a national championship.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
Add more and more.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, it's been a great year for if you love college football and especially around here for the successes of Troy and Auburn and Alabama, of course, have been very good. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's been a great year. UAB was good. I mean, you had Sanford make the playoffs. It was one of the better years for the state of Alabama I can ever remember. Jack State made the playoffs again.
Yeah,
so
exactly right.
Only team that really struggled this year was South Alabama.
Exactly. And everybody talks about this North Dakota State, Mike. Are you still on? Mike had to buy out, but North Dakota State has won all these championships in Division I AA, which is phenomenal what they've done. But hey, time for them to go to Division I and get them out of that league and let them play at a higher level and see how they do. And of course, congratulations to them and on their tremendous success in Division I AA, winning all those national championships in a row. I think they won 5 out of the last 6 national championships. But now I think it's time for them to move up to Division I. So I hope they'll do that. I hope you've enjoyed our show today, and it's brought to you by Troy Bank and Trust Company. The only bank you'll ever need is Troy Bank and Trust Company, located on, 12 locations around the state, 3 right here in Troy, and of course locations in Brundage, in Arrington, in New Brockton, in Dothan, in Goshen, in Enterprise, in Elba, in Auburn. Can you believe all those locations for Troy Bank and Trust Company? Want to mention also our good friends at Jim Skinner Honda in Dothan. My good friend Garnet Rigsby's got some huge sales going on. How about Marguerite's for fine jewelry? Go to Marguerite's in Montgomery. I want to mention also our good friends at Sandbuck Insurance on the square in downtown Troy. My good friend Denny Sanford and all the great folks there at Sandbuck Insurance. Sisters for lunch, ladies and gentlemen, and they've got the buffet today. It's Wednesday, and everybody heads for Sisters and their fabulous lunch buffet. Remember, they have a lunch buffet today. They have a lunch buffet tomorrow for lunch, and then tomorrow night for supper. They've got a lunch buffet Friday. They've got a lunch buffet on Friday night, and then they have the giant lunch buffet on Sunday at lunch. So a great place to eat, Sisters Restaurant on the bypass. Want to mention the Alabama Real Estate Connection. Carol Amos, call her today at 672-0100. And our good friends at Trojan Auto Parts, located on the bypass, located on South Brundage Street, right here in Troy, Mike Hillcrease, and the great folks, and we appreciate it. Trojan Detail, you want a great car wash, no better place than Trojan Detail. And BB&T, located on the bypass right there at the Marketplace Shopping Center. Great location for BB&T, and you need to check out their rates, their mortgage rates, their automobile rates. They've got very competitive rates at BB&T. Want to also mention our good friends at Hook's Barbecue today. Great barbecue, as good as you're going to get anywhere. And how about their camp stew? Boy, they've got great camp stew, $8 a quart. And with these cold nights, wonderful camp stew. Speaking of camp stew, I've got my great friend coming on tomorrow from the Salvation Army to talk about their camp stew cook-off, which is coming up very soon. One of their big fundraisers of the year, and their camp stew is delicious. She'll be here. Kim will be here on our show tomorrow. We're looking forward to it. I want to mention also Wise Office Supply, and of course I saw Lane and Lyle this weekend, 2 of my very close friends, and they, when it comes to school supplies, business supplies, office supplies, no better place to go than Wise Office Supply right here in Troy. Want to mention also A1 Services. And hey, I know a lot of folks still having problems with a heat pump, or then of course they want to go ahead and get ready for the summer months with their air conditioner. Air conditioning and refrigeration, or air conditioning and heating, A1 Services is the place to go. And how about the Withington Agency? You're in good hands with Allstate. See Perry Green at the Withington Agency right here in Troy, Town and Country Flooring. I saw my good friend Scott Hartley yesterday, and of course they've not only are in the flooring business, and they've got every kind of flooring you can think of, they are also in the grill business, and their Southern grills are outstanding. A great gift for anybody, and you can find them today at Town and Country Flooring. Want to mention our good friends at Bearfields in Ozark, a great place to buy clothing, and right here for Easter coming up, no better place to go than to get a Hart, Chaplin, and Mark suit from Bearfields right here in Ozark. And the Circle Insurance Agency, my good friend Sam Judah, and they're one of the larger insurers in the Ozark and Dale County area, and we appreciate Sam Judah and Circle Insurance very much, and we appreciate what how they've supported our show. Dixieland Dental, I can't say enough for Dr. Michael Precise, Dr. John Strength, Dr. Damon Strength, Dr. Robert Precise. They make up one of the largest dental clinics in Alabama, and of course, Southeast Alabama Gas District. And if you want gas in your home, call or drop by the Gas District office right here in Troy and do that. Dowling Truck and Tractor, and of course Dowling Rentals, located on Park Avenue right here in Troy, and Warren Dowling and all the great folks there. They've got, I always say they've got for rent, from a lawnmower to a bulldozer, they've got it to rent at Dalco Rentals. And of course, Express Oil Change, and they're also involved now with tires and tires, located on the bypass right here in Troy, and they've got a great selection of tires. So it's oil change and tire engineers right here in Troy. We appreciate them. And of course, Green Hills Funeral Home, one of the outstanding facilities in Alabama. Beautiful facility on Highway 29 right here in Troy. And of course, Benny and Chrissy do a great job with that. Of course, Horn Beverage and Donna Horn and Booty Bruce, great friends of mine. We appreciate them so very much at Horn Beverage. They do so much to help a lot of causes in our area. I hope you've enjoyed our show. You'll tune in again today at 1:30, and then be back with us in the morning, bright and early, for Today in LA. See you then.